Hello, hello. I hope, well, this is one of my first live videos in YouTube. I've never done this before, but I feel that this is a necessity for myself and I think it's an opportunity as well, because my commitment is to help my community whenever I can do that. And I think now that we are health coaches, we are also at home as everyone else, working from home, or probably we are um, staying in this situation of isolation. I know that there's so many things that we can be helpful with. And I decided that coming out in providing this opportunity to help is just my I owe this to my community. So this is what I'm going to do. I will talk about stress management. I know that normally we're all exposed to stress, especially when we have work situations, deadlines, bills, homework, and a lot of other things that will trigger a stressful reaction from our body. So right now, with the current situation, the demands are pulling us in all different directions. And sometimes it is requiring a lot of energy that we don't really have, or we were just not prepared, because nobody was anticipating that this situation will unfold as it is happening right now. So, and I recognize that one of the biggest issues in the community is that we are all dealing with fear of uncertainty, fear of not knowing what is going to happen, what is next, when is this going to end. And we most of us were not ready to really face this fear. So here is my contribution. Let's talk about how fear will trigger a reaction of a stress, how it will manifest in your life in a different ways, because it normally stress is insidious. When it goes unchecked, symptoms linger and chip away at both physical and mental health. Many of us sometimes, and I recognize myself in that situation, sometimes I say, I work better when I am under pressure. I feel that I am pushed to really accomplish my responsibilities. But that doesn't mean that um, stress should be something that should be present constantly in my life. First of all, because excess of a stress will definitely take um, um, a part on our health, physically and mentally, as I said before. So the goal isn't to eliminate all stress, but it is to keep a stress at levels that are helpful rather than harmful. So we will talk today about, I will provide an overview of stress, its symptoms, and how it presents in a daily life, especially right now, because some of us even don't recognize that some reactions we are having might be the result of a stress. Then I will share with you 5 strategies for managing stress in a healthy way. So, first of all, what is stress? It is a feeling of being tense, overwhelmed, worn out. Is like when you feel exhausted, that you don't have the capacity to respond appropriately to something. You feel just that you are stuck with the situation. As I said, a small amount of stress can be motivating, because sometimes when you feel that something is challenging for you, you will just decide to go ahead and face it and work on it, especially if it is something that you love and you like to do. But too much of that stress it makes even small tasks seem really undoable. And symptoms can range from mild, like having a headache or maybe a stomach ache, to severe symptoms like depression, anxiety, and sometimes mental impairment that will impact your life in a long term. There are two different ways of manifestation of stress, and it's acute and chronic stress. Acute stress is brief but intense, and it happens sometimes when we are facing also short-term stressors, such as when you are preparing to give a speech. I would say I was a little bit stressed at the beginning when I was thinking about what would be the best way to come out and talk to you. If I will use the Facebook platform or maybe Zoom or maybe another one. So I decided YouTube for the first time. So I was kind of stressed at the beginning, but now I feel calm because I'm talking about something that will help my community, that is really coming from my heart to you. So, getting into an argument with someone you love, for example, will trigger a short term an acute stress response from your body. Studying for an exam, all of those will cause acute stress. Chronic stress, on the other hand, is long lasting. It's been there for their stressors that are acting constantly in our lives. And the symptoms may not be as intense in the moment, and that's why they may just pass by. You may not recognize that you are suffering from stress because you kind of get used to those reactions. But the long-term effects at the same times at the same time are more severe in this case. So long-term stressors such as a difficult job where you are having difficulties dealing with your tasks at work, or maybe you are having difficulties with the relationship with your coworkers, or is other situations that may happen at your job. If you don't like what you are doing, that is a stressful situation that will probably last for at least for the time that you will be doing that job. An unhealthy relationship with a person with whom you are sharing a space, like living together, and you are entering into frequent arguing, financial difficulties, especially right now when we are staying at home. Some of our peers and neighbors have lost their jobs, and they don't know what is going to happen in their when this situation is going to be solved. And definitely facing financial difficulties is actually one of the stressors that is staying or remains for longer times in our lives, and they will have an impact in our mental and physical health. So the symptoms of a chronic stress, as I said, may go unnoticed, and some people will sometimes become accustomed to the discomfort, and the feeling of a stress becomes their new normal in their life. However, the negative impact in their health still persist. There are some different areas of your life where stress symptoms will manifest in different ways: physical, emotional or cognitive, and behavioral. In the physical manifestation of a stress, asthma, for example, asthma crisis is triggered by asthma stressors or triggers outside around surrounding the individual that is prompted to have asthma crisis. Headaches, migraines, back pain, Sweating is another manifestation of a stress. Physical manifestation, having nausea when you are facing that acute situation of a stress, indigestion, chest pain, fatigue, all of this. Emotional, cognitive manifestation of a stress, like worrying too much for something, concentrating your thoughts and on something that is hasn't happened, but you are um, just thinking about that this is going to happen. Is like oh my god, I'm losing that word. Is I anticipating situations that are not the reality in the present time, in the now, but you're worrying about the future, what is going to happen, what it will be the consequences of situations that you are seeing right now, but you are anticipating what is going to happen in the future. It's like worrying too much, irritability, anger, loss of motivation, difficulty concentrating, sometimes that mood instability. It will produce even memory problems, the decrease on sex drive as well, and many other emotional disruptions produced by stress. The behavioral part is affected or manifested when, and you can see that it is actually one of the manifestations of a stress that is more visible is when behavior is transformed. Like people biting nails. Oh my God, I'm doing that. Nuts. I don't do that. But yes, that will be one of the manifestation of a stress. And some people live with that for long, long, long life, long term in their lives. And they do not understand that that is not part of their normal life. It's just a manifestation of a stress. Constant thoughts about stressors, restlessness, teeth grinding, especially when they go to sleep, disruptive sleep, diet, and exercise. They don't commit to eat appropriately when they have that compulsory is they eat is eating disorders that are produced by stress, interpersonal conflict, social withdrawal, substance use, procrastination, not feeling motivated to do something and then you procrastinate things to another moment, and so many other manifestations in these three specific areas of your life and health. Chronic symptoms may lead to situations like even a weakened immune system, which is so important right now in the situation that we are facing with pandemic of coronavirus. Poor diet and exercise habits are affected as well. Skin diseases may appear with chronic stress, memory impairment, as I said. Well, let's talk about stress management strategies. There are five very effective strategies to manage stress that I'm going to refer very briefly, not to make this conversation too long, but they are build resilience is one. The other one is relaxation techniques. I will be talking about time management, self-care, and cognitive restructuring. The other day, I was invited to a conversation with friends and members of the Power and Health Network, and I was talking about this, and I recognize that this is one of the most important conversations that we may have now. We need to have with our community is how to manage stress. Well, how to build resilience, and what resilience is. Resilience refers to the ability to handle stress when it arises and to protect yourself against future stress. There are a number of qualities that contribute to resilience, including the social support that you have, optimism, sense of humor, spirituality, self esteem, adaptability. And many of these qualities can be fostered in when you have a coach, for example, and or can be fostered in situations like these when you have the opportunity to work on these specific areas. So here are a few ways that you could build resilience using social support. Social support may come from friends, family, from community organizations. You can approach organizations if, like, for example, this organization I just mentioned is a non-for-profit organization Power on Hills. It promotes health for women. This organization also help you tackle situations like this and trained you to skills that will help you manage situations like stress in other also other skills that will help you for important things in your life. But this is just an example. There are thousands of organizations that can be helpful in providing social support. Social support can come from someone that you trust to provide advice to whom you can share your worries, how you feel about some situations. I know that currently it's difficult to access organizations or in person. But you know what? One of the most important things is that you have access to social media, that you have access to internet, and you can contact um, people that you trust. You are in contact with many right now through social media. Is a new way, but is a way that is also at your hand. Phone, you can use your phone to talk to family, friends, and people that will impact your life. So I will advise you to look at some of the instruments that I share in my webpage as well for social support. Positive journaling is a way to foster optimism. How do you do that? It when you foster that optimism about when you're journaling, that will contribute to stress resilience. So how do you do positive journaling? It is about writing positive daily positive experiences. Like, we are so focused on negative experiences that we forget to count how many things positive happen in our day, and we forget even the concept of what can be positive for us. We are facing the everyday, the media, the news. When you watch TV and you watch the news, the most things that you see there are negative news. Well, search for positive news. But if you don't have, you don't have to focus on the news or what you watching on TV. You can write your own positive news, your own positive situations in your daily life. Like, for example, I had a pleasant sleep. I slept for the whole night. I had like 10, probably 10 hours of sleep. I read a small part of a book that really brought something positive to my daily life because I learned something from that. I had a call with a person I haven't spoken for a long time. And so write down everything that you consider was positive for you. From very simple things like I cooked something new and it was so tasty. I was successful doing this for the first time. I just took a recipe from the internet and I made this plate for the first time. That was a positive situation. You learned something and it was good and it was loved by your family. So, positive journaling is a great way to appreciate these experiences. And these experiences bring you optimism and foster resilience. Another way to potentiate or to create resilience in your life is showing gratitude. Showing gratitude to anyone that you consider that You can say thank you. Praying in the mornings and saying thank you, Lord, because I wake up to another day, another opportunity. That is your first gratitude. Well, it is not applicable for everyone, and I'm not telling you that you should do it the same way I do it. But this is my way to do it. So as an example for you. But you may just show gratitude to someone that did something good to you, and you didn't have the opportunity to say something about that. You may do that by sending an appreciation card. You may do that by calling by someone and telling, hey, this last time when we were doing this and you did this for me, I am so grateful for what you did. Just express your gratitude and do it from your mouth. Do it, express it. It is important. It will definitely potentiate your resilience. It will bring you that sense of self esteem. It will increase your self esteem. Yes, resilience isn't built overnight. Just like with any other skill, it comes with time and practice. So practice um, these examples that I've given, and that will potentiate or that will create your resilience. That will booster, that's the word, booster your resilience. So let's talk about relaxation techniques. Relaxation techniques start with very, very basic one that everyone teaches us to relax, and that is deep breathing. Deep breathing. And muscle relaxation also is part of that relaxation that we are so easy. They are very easy to practice and they are very easy to learn. So the deep breathing is as easy as inhaling, inspiring for at least you count 5 times. I do the 5-5-7. 5-5-5-7 technique is 5 times counting, like 5 seconds inspiring, holding for at least 5 seconds again, and expiring in 7. So the expiring is longer. You will take out all your air, but slowly, concentrated. Let me do one for you to learn. It is excellent. It gives you such a sensation of relaxation. And then the muscle relaxation, also, you can do it by using a yoga mattress and laying in the floor over that mattress or sitting is the best way you feel is better. But the main action is to concentrate on stretching specific areas in your body, muscles in those areas, and relaxing them. So I will share at some point some of these instruments that you can use in my webpage. You can access them and download them also. For you use if you just access I will share my webpage on this at the end of this video as well. So these are techniques that will help you relax. There are other techniques that you may also review on internet or find. There are plenty of sources to find how to learn to do relaxation. Time management. Time management is one of the biggest assets right now. Our time is an asset, At this point, when we have our family at home, children, husband is not working outside, is staying at home, everybody is at home. Time kind of stays somewhere behind, and we find out that we are missing things that we are used to do, or sometimes we just don't know what else to do or how to do it or how to organize our day. We kind of get lost first because this is the first time we are in this situation. So we have a lot to lose when we are not organizing our time. So when you have too much to do or you have too little time, that becomes an issue. So balancing responsibilities and fighting them, or finding the best way to fit them into a busy schedule is a very common stressor. So I do believe that mothers and that parents today are really facing this stressor of how to manage their schedule, having children at home. So one, I will recommend at least a few things that you can do to manage your time, like use a to-do list or maybe appointment book. Even for your inside, for your home activities, you can just write down your appointment book. Yes, and do that. Prioritize your tasks. Break large tasks into a smaller task, also into smaller pieces, like when you have something that will last more than a day, then just take a small pieces and do one step at a time. Limit distractions. Is like um, you know you can start by measuring or identifying what are your main distractions, like how much time do you use for social media, how much time you stay in front of the TV. Then cut out the distractions you don't actually enjoy, and schedule time for the ones you do enjoy. So you can give yourself time, like breaks between tasks. And also, you know, one thing that I will definitely emphasize: let yourself fail. Don't be so focused on being perfect. you know, Let yourself be less than perfect. That's normal. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody is. Okay, so let's go to self care. And self care refers specifically to those activities that you enjoy, your favorite activities, those that help you relax, have fun, and feel energized. By the way, I will clarify that there are some activities that do not qualify as self care activities, especially those that have an impact in your health. Those will not be considered self-care activities. But it could include something like talking with a friend, um, just going out from in a open environment around. It might be in your backyard if you're not going outside because of the situation of staying away. But social distancing doesn't mean that you have to stay behind the doors all the time. It's good to walk a little bit, make your walk in an open environment, making sure that you take care of wearing your mask and doing it in a hygienic way. Reading, listening to music that you love, or whatever else you enjoy. The important part of self care is not so much what you do, it is just that you do it. That you do it. Okay? So you can do an assessment of what are the things that you love that you didn't do before, that you love that you haven't done in a long time. Self-care means doing that, and also taking care of yourself, eating regular meals, getting enough sleep, caring for personal hygiene, caring for your skin. You do that normally, caring for your beauty. You're beautiful. We all are beautiful. Caring for that. That helps maintain good health. Make self care a priority. You cannot care for anyone else if you have not taken care of yourself. Remember that. Okay, so let's go to the last a strategy that I will be sharing with you today, and that is cognitive restructuring. It is so important, especially in this right moment. Stress is caused by our thoughts about a situation and not by the situation itself. So it is not the pandemic of coronavirus who is causing the stress in our lives. It's the way we think about it what is causing the stress. Even you can find that when you have two different people in the exact same situation, and however, they have completely different levels of stress or not stress at all. And just because of how they think about the situation. So most of the time, what happens is that our thoughts are irrational, exaggerated, and we respond to them as if they were factual when they are not happening. We are mostly focused on what will happen. And then we just irrationally build a situation that is not realistic, that is not happening yet. We are harming our health by doing that. So it is important to really focus on or get concentrate on analyzing, assessing how our thoughts are affecting our lives. When we say things like, I will never get through this. Oh my God. I don't know what was going to happen. I will definitely get this coronavirus and I will, oh no. And then you concentrate on those irrational thoughts that you are not sick, you're not having the disease, you were not in contact with other, even if you were, and you are just get ready for what you should what you should do. Look for information. Information is out there. Take care of the things that you have to take care that are right now in front of you. But don't think about what may happen because you don't have the reality. You cannot control the future. You can control what is happening right now. So cognitive restructuring is not a technique that you learn that easy because most of the time our thoughts come from we cannot sometimes we cannot control our thoughts. That was said a little bit confusing. Yes, we can control our thoughts, but sometimes we lose the capacity to do that. So if you need help, please approach. And this is all for today. My name is Angela Gala Gonzalez, and I am with Dr. Gala Health Coaching LLC. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you.